People that own businesses think too tactically. So they think they need to hire somebody to do a job. They don't think big enough. And the conversations, therefore, stay small, which means that they then hire small, ambitious thinkers that just want to get a job. Businesses don't move people. People move businesses.
Love that. That sets up the why behind even having a personal, professional, financial goal conversation. I think more so than the tips that you're going to share, but really building the value as to why this is important, like why this is the catalyst for business change and how it's the only way to scale your business if you're going to do it through people is like the huge mind shift that people have to go through. And then having the conversation becomes easy, but it's really establishing that, okay, why am I even having this conversation? Is this just something that I'm checking off the to-do list, or is this something that's intrinsic to why the business exists, why the business was started, why the business serves its customers in the way that it does? Like the overall mission and vision of the organization should be tied into the personal, professional, financial goal planning process of the employees, of the team members.
And they should be doing it not just with their existing team members, but this should be part of the interview process. Think about this. People that own businesses think too tactically. So they think they need to hire somebody to do a job. They don't think big enough. And the conversations, therefore, stay small, which means that they then hire small, ambitious thinkers that just want to get a job. So think about, I'm going to give you two different conversations.
Okay.
You tell me which one you think sounds bigger.
Okay.
Conversation one. I'm growing my business. I have this job option or this job position available. And Natalie, I'd like to talk to you about this. And I'm looking to hire somebody that wants to work in my marketing department. And I'm looking for somebody who can write copy and do some ads and maybe go call on some businesses. Is that something you'd be excited about doing for work?
Yes.
Great. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to create my website. I want you to create some flyers, and I want you to buy some media and start doing that job. Sound great?
Sure.
And I'll pay you minimum wage, or I'll pay you $20 an hour or $25 an hour or whatever, and here's what I expect from you.
Okay.
Now, you're going to hire somebody. But think if the conversation went like this. And think, you're my first person I'm hiring for marketing. So I've now hired you to do a job and go off and do it. Now, imagine if I hired you this way. I said, Natalie, here's the deal. Today I have one location, or I have one business, and that business is doing $2.5 million in revenue. So it's time that we hire somebody to run our marketing. I noticed on your resume that this is something you're passionate and excited about. The thing is, my business objectives, my personal goals for my business is to take it from $2.5 million to $20 million. So although I'm interviewing somebody for marketing today, what I'm really looking for is a future leader that can run a $20 million marketing company.
Wow.
Right? Or do marketing for a $20 million company.
Yeah.
And the skill sets you have seem to be in alignment with that. But what I want to make sure is that you're fully aligned with the business. You stretch yourself beyond your current abilities in the way we do that. And the person I'm looking for is someone who will go to evening classes or do online programs or be willing to push themselves, maybe do body language programs, and be able to go out in the community and represent us at the highest level. And that's the person I'm looking for when we're $20 million. The question I have for you is, does that sound interesting to you from a career path?
Absolutely.
So what I want to do is talk to you about the process in doing that. Of course, I can't expect you to do that today because your resume says you've never done it. And you may not be comfortable going out and speaking in front of 50 or 100 people. Is that something that you feel you could develop into?
Absolutely.
So we're going to write that down, not as what I want you to do today, but an expectation I have for a development path, because I'm not looking for people just to come in and do what they need to do right now. I'm looking for people who can grow and scale the business. And at 20 million, you might have to be responsible for other people doing the things you're doing today.
That makes sense.
So in the process of building this program out with you, I want you to document all the things you do, why you do it, how you're doing it, what the impact is of what you're doing. And I'm going to show you this process and this system. But in order for you to grow into this job and learn all these skills, because I'm going to have to send you to project management, maybe online programs to learn how to properly project manage. Is that something you're comfortable with?
Yes.
I'm also going to have to send you to a body language online program. Like you have to learn how to hold yourself in front of rooms of people if you're going to speak and represent the company. Is that something you'd be comfortable with?
Sure.
I'm also going to send you to a communications program or online program, have you trained so you can do those things. Is that something you're comfortable with?
Yeah.
Great. So what I want to do is align your personal, professional, financial goals with what we have to do today, but where the company is going to go over the next 10 years so you can grow with it. Does that excite you about this opportunity?
It does.
So now I'm going to get into this. So this is the important part, the entrepreneurs. I want to know how much you're thinking about your future. I want to have transparency into your ambition. See, people who aren't ambitious or don't think about their own future, why as an entrepreneur would I assume they're going to be worried or thinking about mine?
Well, what I love about how you frame this conversation is you really think about it from the standpoint of me as Brandon Dawson, the CEO of the company, the owner of the company, needs to be as inspirational in the interview process as you would need to have if you were being the interviewer. So if you were sitting across yourself in that conversation, having, Brandon talking to Brandon, like you would do everything you could in order to inspire that same type of person who is like you in order to come into the organization. It's not just your typical standard, here's what the job description is.
And what would
here's the things you
happen
need to
if
do.
I was doing that with a candidate for employment and I was painting this picture and showing them with absolute clarity, this is where I want to go and here's the kind of person I'm looking to eventually, and they were sitting there going, that sounds interesting.
Well, yeah, that
sounds fun.
That's how you can filter that out. If you are the one that's coming at it with that much enthusiasm, but the interviewee back can't even match that, or just kind of did what I did and saying, yeah, sure, and isn't able to articulate how they're aligning with that, or how they've always wanted to take project management, or how they've always wanted to do body language class because they're nervous to speak in front of people, but they would like to be able to. Like if it's not matched back and you're just telling them what they need to do, it's not going to be a long-term fit for your organization.